returning you to the Children of Primus.
Also, I want to point out that Spin brought up the fact that we got the blogbot videos. They are narrated by me. They are written by Fear of Courage, but the music is also by Spin.
Oh, thank you for mentioning
I seen you being a modest host and leaving yourself out of that, but no, the music's good, so it deserved a call out.
Cool. Well, thank you.
I was gonna say, I noticed that you have a more range with your voice than I realized, because it took me a while to realize it was you. I mean, I knew it wasn't Anthony, because I saw in the credits and the one that says, "Oh, it's you, Toy Warp narrating." I was like, "Wait, what?" You speak with a different different voice on that video than you do on the live streams.
Oh yeah, I've got like my regular voice, and then I've got my microphone voice.
Okay, yeah, it sounded like it's a deeper voice when you were just kind of exampling it right then.
But you know what that is? That is from elementary school, when like you would go around and um, you'd read. You had to read out loud something, and you figure out what paragraph was going to be yours, so you sat there and like practice that paragraph in your head. That's where that comes from.
So I know, since you got, while we're waiting for that gentleman to come on, so I know you guys were teasing me about being afraid of what my algorithm is. So for me, this is what me as a grown ass man bought. You would think this would be what the grown ass woman bought.
That's it. We're canceled.
But this is what my friend Runa, who's a female and heterosexual as far as I know, had, and she's like, identify this big boob anime girl figure with three clues or yet less, and there's like really close up pictures of it.
Welcome to.
And I was laughing my ass off hysterically at the plasma place when I saw that, because I was just like,
Teletran 2.
Welcome to Teletran 2.
Yep.
Hot
there
damn.
it goes all together.
Man, is it possible to put that video that I just sent you in?
Let me see. Let me see if I can get a video.
If he can play it. If he can't, it's on our messenger page. If he gets it to play, watch the mom, because you can tell she put this together and she's like waiting for it to fall apart.
Okay, let me see if I can share that onto our screen.
A friend of mine just sent it to me, or they were like, "So is this what you did for your daughter's birthday?" I was like, "No, she wanted Shadow the Hedgehog." So my daughter's 26, by the way. And we're getting Shadow the Hedgehog birthday cakes.
Why not?
Why not? I wouldn't turn down a Transformers cake. Hint, hint.
Yeah.
Now,
wait till you see
something
this
else
one.
I'll get. Oh, I'll let Bill finish what he was saying.
Okay, let's see.
Well, hot damn! I found the Transformers cake I want.
Look at her look. She's like, "Oh no, oh no." Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be quite content with that cake.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I grant you.
So I actually do follow some wholesome stuff, and it's not always just big-breasted anime girls and cosplayers. Like, I had this thing where it's a little child that has a birthmark on the side of her face, and she kind of resembles this character from My Hero Academia, and also the guy with the burn mark on his face from Avatar. And this little girl like found this doll of him, and she's like, "Oh, he looks like me. He has a birthmark on his face." And that was very wholesome. So, but I'll have a lot of friends who like they have young kids, so I'll like respond to a lot of my friends' stuff with their little kids, or just little kid stuff will pop up because of me commenting on their stuff about their children.
Don't let him fool you. He literally just Googled wholesome, and that's what he found. Okay, I'm letting you know.
No, I literally, well, I do got a mix of stuff for antidepressant that, yeah, gives me away. But I mean, I'll go from under like my highlights. Come on, load, damn you, load. So I'll go from something cute like this. Yeah, he's dancing on the washing machine. Yeah. Now go forward a few. She's gonna wait for it. To a short girl threatening to kill a guy. Then cute that she's cosplaying as that the fox guy from Zootopia, and I thought that was cute. That's one of my friend's kids, and she's a cool with dogs now. She plays with her grandparents' dog like all the time. Or something else that's anime. Oh yeah, something that's not a kid.
And there goes the algorithm.
Yep. So yeah, I'll be all over the place. Yeah, girl eating takoyaki. So what that little plushie was, that red one.
And Miami Game Hunter, welcome. Comment saying, once a 90s kid, always a 90s kid.
Miami Game Hunter, I got to meet today. He has a YouTube channel, so go check out his YouTube channel, which is Miami Game Hunter. Got a great deal from him at the show. He's one of the vendors at the show today. Great guy.
Oh, very cool. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by.
Yes, thanks for tuning in, man.
Subscribe. Mm-hmm.
I am already subscribed to your channel.
And speaking of channels and liking and subscribe to everything, a cool person who I came across just a few weeks ago, who is our guest for the evening, which goes by the name of Big Trev, who is one of the largest collectors of Transformers in Australia. And he was featured on one of the news stations just a couple weeks ago, and I said, you know what, let me see if I can get a hold of him, and he had the time, and he's going to be a guest. Now, Miami Game Hunter also says, OFC, man, I must say the west coast of Florida is much chiller than the east.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hey, Skywarp, read the shirt. I'm not a bad person. Skywarp's like bullshit.
Okay, yeah, but you know that meme that goes, if I was a Jedi, I would totally use the Force for inappropriate things?
God dang it.
Yeah, you're still fried, man.
Has his comeback.
Oh, what's that skit where it's like, am I an introvert? No. Am I an extrovert? No. I'm a pervert. Yeah, that's me. I'll own that one.
No, you're not. You're not even a pervert. You're a provert. You've been at it for more than 5 years.
Oh dear.
I saw one of those things that said, if you could travel to any fictional plane and steal one item, something that you can carry or drive back, and whatever it is works in this world, but the owner from that other reality or from that other plane is coming to your reality, and they have a way to get here, and everything, all their powers and everything that they had there work here, but they are coming to get it. What would you go and get? And the one that I put out, everybody went, fine, man, you win. So just as a curiosity question, if you could go and get one thing from another reality, knowing that the person that owns it in that reality is coming to hunt you down to get it.
Well, I already hear Seth. Asking if this includes the adult entertainment world, and I'm very afraid.
Well, sure. Because there was a lot of anime. There was a lot of anime answers on there, and the guy shot them down. You realize that you go and get the Dragon Ball, and they're coming after you now.
I don't understand. Why would you want to do this?
I personally like the alternative joke where it says, you get to decide where you isekai someone you don't like goes to, and it's like, oh, I'm set isekai to Goblin Slayer, and as a girl, he's screwed.
You know, we're gonna have to hold on to that thought because we do have Big Angry Trev in the back.
He's here. Let's go.
He is
Good.
here.
Yeah.
So let's bring him in.
Oh.
Hello, gentlemen.
Welcome.
Now, how are
Thank
you
you
doing, sir?
kindly. Yeah, I'm doing well. Just prepping the farm. We're about to go to the Cook Islands in a few days, so getting the animals ready and the farm ready and everything, making sure that I've got like 50 extra locks and retinal scans on the transformatorium. You know, employed the neighbours to just sit there with binoculars the entire day watching the shed just in case. So hopefully it's all a go.
Cool.
So why are you angry? I saw Big Angry Trev was the name. Why are you angry?
It really should say tired middle-aged Trev now. The Big Angry doesn't really work. When I was younger, I used to do a bit of stand-up comedy and a bit of acting, and that was my stage name. And then everything from then on, so I've got a website that's bigangrytrev.com, and everything's Big Angry Trev, but yeah, it's not really applicable as much now, especially now I'm a dad. I'm just too tired to build up that rage. Sometimes if someone comes to me and says, you know, KISS players was better than Cyberverse, right?
What?
You know, then the rage
no.
comes up.
Be gone,
Yeah,
foul
see, there
demons.
you go. Exactly right. So yeah, Big Angry Trev, it's just totally branding now and nothing else.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cool. And we have a couple of people in the comments. The comments are going crazy. So someone by the name Your Mom, somebody's mom, is said, I am the Destroyer. And Special Agent Plunger Man also said, I am the Destroyer. And Motormaster, from the Stunticons, said, I am the Destroyer. So Motormaster, say hi to the other Stunticons, and hopefully
Motormaster, you're second place to Optimus Prime as a destroyer by running people over with your truck mode.
Actually, I will.
There's a lot of destroyers here. It's so like, I'm the Destroyer and so's my wife. So
Unspeakable also says, I am the Destroyer. And I'm going to throw this question to Motormaster. In that episode, I mean, you have this, indestructible shell, but yet Optimus beat you. How was that possible? And one more comment from Toaster Prime. What's your favorite figure in your collection? Which I'm guessing this is directed to you, sir, Mr. Trev.
Okay. That's quite hard to answer considering I've got over 5,000 figures.
There's the number.
Let's take a walk. Because I'm a G1 fan, probably G1s. I do like, I don't know if I've got the camera right there, Power Master Optimus Prime from G1 was just very, like, say again, sorry?
He's there in the middle.
Yep, that's it. And then, of course, just because I wanted him for so long, Fort Max has a special place. Yeah, it's hard to tell. So, like, Unicron, of course, I love, not that he gets transformed very often because he takes so long.
Oh, yeah.
So, perhaps I'd say character-wise, maybe Omega Supreme. So any figures I have of Omega Supreme have got a special place for me. Omega Supreme, Grimlock, Swindle, those kind of characters. So any toys I have of those guys, I particularly like.
I was wondering how much. I'm a hardcore G1
angry ones.
I'm a hardcore G1 guy. I was wondering how much G1 stuff you actually have in there.
So, well, if you go via the years it was all released, the percentages of how much of it I have go down. So I've got everything from 84, everything from 85, except for a couple of deluxe Insecticons. So exact same for 86. I'm only missing the deluxe Insecticons. Most from 87. Then when you get to the later years, I'm missing a lot of the pretenders, a lot of the power masters, a few of the headmasters, that kind of thing. So, like, it's quite extensive, but it's certainly, yeah, that's all the Gen 1 shelves behind me there. It's extensive, but not complete. So I make sure I add a few toys each year. So I think at the moment I've got Gun Runner coming in the mail. It was a G1 Pretender vehicle where the little guy was in the car and he jumped out.
Figures every year. How old are you? 580?
Well, most of these are from when I was young. I add a few now, but back in say 2001, 2002, when eBay was still in its fledgling years, people didn't realize how much this stuff was worth. So I'd get on and I'd buy a Gen 1 Skylynx for $45 or Gen 1 Dreadwing for like $20 and so on. Of course, now it's $200. So
is Skylynx that much?
Skylynx, well, he's been reissued now, so he's probably not worth as much. But yeah, I don't know, a few bucks back in the day. So I've got, I don't know, over 500 Gen 1 figures, and I'd say most of those I got when I was young and then in the noughties. And then since then, in the last 10 years, the prices have just skyrocketed on the secondary market. So I only grab a few a year.
I feel you. I feel you. I've got a thing for G1 box stuff. I feel you. I just spent $1,100 on one.
Ooh, who was that?
It is G1 Hot Rod, and I got him for a reason. I'm going to actually meet at MegaCon next couple of weeks, Judd Nelson, and he's going to sign it for me.
Oh, that's cool.
Isn't it?
That's very cool. Now, let's have a look. There we go. Now, although I must admit, this was the reissue from a few years ago. That's not original in box. So, but at the same time, it's not one of those knockoffs from Temu either. So,
yeah.
Which Beast Wars
you kind of sound purist when you said that.
Just a little. I liked it. Where's Erlotti? Oh, he's sick.
Serves him right. He probably got it from all his reissue crap.
Yeah, they brought over the Asian flu in a box.
So I should get a couple comments, and then there's another question. So Motormaster replied to my question and said, "Well, Megatron and Shockwave lied and made me look like a fool. So I kicked Megatron's ass and then ripped out Shockwave's eye. That's why you didn't see Shockwave in G1 for a while." So Evan has a question and asking, who pays more, Canadians or Australians, for Transformers? And just before you answer that, I quickly looked, and the Australian dollar is similar to the Canadian dollar. So right now, it's 62 cents for every $1. And I know that's kind of a question to you, because I know for us in Canada, we always make the joke, because our American friends will say, well, they found this figure for $200, but for us, that's like $3,900.
Or according to CBR 2000.
That is correct. Trevor, how difficult is it for you to get some of your figures, and what is the cost in terms of getting those figures?
Well, back in the day, and we're going back 10 years here, where the Australian dollar was very strong. It was on parity. It was the same as the US dollar. They were about worth the same as each other. So back in those days, I used to import a lot from the US through BBTS and other companies and so on. But now that the Australian dollar, like the Canadian dollar, is much weaker against the US, I have to watch. So Amazon has been a bit of a godsend. So I get a lot of stuff through the Australian Amazon site, because as Prime member, I don't have to pay for postage and everything. But I used to import quite a lot from the US and quite a lot from Japan. where I am in Australia, so I'm out in the middle of nowhere, which is why I had the room to build my big collector's shed. I'm on a farm in the middle of nowhere, New South Wales. The nearest physical store that stocks Transformers is well over 50 kilometers away, and it might have two in it. So a kilometer is a mile is 1.6 kilometers.
I'm razzing you.
So we do metric here.
It's because you've never been to the moon.
Yeah. So not lately.
Don't they ding you really hard on shipping?
But now, yes, which is why I get very little imported from the US. I pretty much, if it's not coming to Australia, I get it through Amazon. Or there are starting to be more Australian online stores that are stocking more Transformers. We've got places like JB Hi-Fi, The Gamesman, Big W, and so on. But yeah, because of my location, I do all my online shopping, but it can be quite expensive and it can be quite frustrating when, say, there's a Target exclusive figure in the US. That does not translate to Target in Australia will get that toy as well. There's a good chance it won't. So, for instance, I still don't have who was the Nautica, that little purple hovercraft from IDW.
I got a picture of her on my phone, actually.
There you go. Is it G-rated?
Where is it?
He's checking if it's G-rated. But at any rate, she's an example. That set was never released here in Australia, and it was going to cost a fortune to import, so I just had to miss out. There she is.
And they're charging.
So yeah, she's like what,
140 for her by herself.
Yeah.
So even now, she goes for a lot, even in the US.
Yeah. See, a tad rich for my blood. I suppose it would help if I concentrated on a single line, but as you can see, I kind of like everything. So I tend to collect lots of everything. So from, I've got Earth Spark figures, crossover figures, the latest Legacy, latest Masterpiece, all that kind of thing. Yeah, it'd be easier if I concentrated on one line, like just a Generations line or completing Gen 1, but there's too much fun stuff out there.
Variety's the spice of life. Don't worry about being too spread thin, quote unquote.
That's it. Well, these days it's about the only thing on me that is spread thin, unfortunately. Yeah.
How old are you, by the way?
That's a rather personal question. I would have been happy to answer 20 years ago when it wasn't embarrassing. I turned 47 a couple of months ago.
All right.
Puppy.
So I was that perfect age for when Transformers came out. I was a 7-year-old boy. And then, the cartoon hit, and it was just, I think, geared towards my age bracket beautifully.
Well, I only asked because you don't look your age, and I was wondering how in the heck you acquired G1 Transformers at such a youngin.
Well, in the 90s, remember, there was a lot of sets that got an Australasian release. So, and at the time, my mum ran a little toy shop. So when I was so when I was young, I missed out on the Combaticons, aerial bots, all of those, because I didn't have much pocket money. When they got that re-release on the gold packaging in the 90s, I was working part-time so I could afford them, and plus I was getting them wholesale. So yeah, that helped quite a lot. So I was able to get my MicroMasters wholesale, those re-releases wholesale. So that helped. Yeah, that helped a bit.
Wow, that is an ideal situation.
Isn't it just?
Man.
See, I keep trying. I keep trying to figure out. There must be some kind of scam where I can get the shed heritage listed or listed as a museum. So that way, any Transformers I buy to add to it are a tax write-off. So I've looked into it, but I don't think I can quite manage it. I think to do so, I'd have to open it to the public 6 days a week or something. And I'm not having all those people breathing on my toys. No, sir.
You're worried about people breathing on the toys when you have spiders down there that can pick you up and carry you away?
Oh, that's just huntsmen. That's all right. They'll leave you alone if you start a small fire or you scream at them loud enough. You should see the goannas we get on our property. Get like that, mate. But yeah, thankfully they're more interested in my duck eggs. They don't go after my Gen 1 technobots very much.
Well, one of our members isn't feeling. Actually, a couple members aren't feeling too well this evening, so they're just kind of hiding in the comments and stuff. One of them, Fair Courage, who is our writer who writes for our website, childrenofprimus.com. He did have a few questions for you, and one of them was, what's an unexpected challenge that comes with having so many figures?
Space, certainly. Like, again, I have got the shed, as you can see, but like even the ceiling is covered in posters. It's just it's why I like the Generation Selects toys so much. So let's come with me. So if you look at the, say, here's the Cyberverse, and you see there's toys up here at the back. All what they're standing on are Generation Selects boxes. So, and same with these guys. So it's constantly creating shelves within shelves. And for that, because I have so much, I just use the packaging from other Transformers. So insurance is a huge challenge. This shed is insured. Its contents are not, which is why I have been doing a photo catalogue of all my collections. So I've worked through all the cartoons. Now I'm onto Generations. Should be up on my website next few days. I've just done a photo catalogue of all my Combiner Wars figures. And hopefully I'll get up. So hopefully at some point I'll have every figure in here photographed and listed and charted and everything else, and then maybe I can look at getting insurance for that. So, but you know what? I'm going to stop a question right now before it gets here. Here's the question people ask me the most about having this many Transformers: the dust. I get so many questions about dust.
We did all.
The dust is fine. The dust is fine. A few of the movieverse figures near the door get dusty. I have to dust them on occasion. Some of the darker colored Transformers show a little bit of dust now and then. That's about it. But that's the number one question people ask when they find out I've got this many toys and they're not behind sealed glass. So, yeah, dust is fine. It's not a worry.
Now, you can see that I have a room not as full as yours. My collection is only 3,200.
Still impressive to me.
But as far as your insurance goes, once you get your video recordings of it, talk to them about getting a plan that excludes theft. Because that's what I did. My room is insured. It's insured for $125,000. Or I'm sorry, $750,000. But the clause on it is non-theft. That's why I have cameras. I don't know if you can see them over there. There's one right there on the side of that. You can't walk into this room. In fact, you can't walk into my property without being recorded. But
okay, I'm making notes on this.
Yeah, this room has
Magnus's cameras. Okay,
that's right. This room has 3 cameras in it. 2 are obvious, 1's hidden. But yeah, you can get a policy that insures against everything but theft. In other words, it's natural disaster, fire, quake, fall, act of God, and I forget what there's 6 forms on it. And because I have the cameras in here, I don't worry about theft, and it covers everything else.
Oh,
Right?
very
So,
good.
and it's a lot cheaper when you can guarantee that nothing's going to be stolen out of here. You're just wanting to insure it in case something happens and the house burns down. A storm comes up and blows the walls off of it, sucks everything out, tornado. You're going against natural disaster. You're not going against hoodlum. So talk to your insurance company about that, and you can find loopholes.
Well, we've always had trouble with insurance out here because, as I said, I live in the middle of nowhere. So, yeah, theft isn't an issue because I get a lot of people contact me online and say, hey, can I come for a tour of the shed? And I say, yeah, and I tell them where I am, and they go, oh, okay. I'll get back to you, and I never hear from them again. But yeah, out here, because we're on a farming property, I think there was only one insurer. We didn't get to shop insurers. It was sort of like there's only one company that will insure properties of your type in your area. Ooh. So and yeah, so but that is something I will definitely bear in mind. So yeah, because insurance is a problem, and keeping them catalogued is a problem, and that's what I'm doing. But my son and I enjoy it because we'll get, like we did last week, we got down all the Combiner Wars toys, photographed all of them so I can have them for insurance purposes, and then he got to play with the Combiner Wars toys for the next couple of days. So and he feels very privileged because he's the only person outside of my good self who is allowed to touch pretty much anything in this shed. Anybody else, it's sort of like, okay, look, but yeah, if you touch, you will have a limb removed.
Now, a cool thing, because looking up a few things about you, which I'll ask a few other questions soon. I guess since you've mentioned it before, what is your son's name?
So my son's name is Orion.
Oh,
Orion.
yes.
Oh,
Nice.
The hunter.
So Orion Samuel Hopkins. So now the Samuel part was not a Transformers reference. It was not Shia LaBeouf related at all. In fact, I didn't even realize it was just one of the few names that seemed to go well with Orion. But yeah, look, naturally he's named in part that because of the Transformers, and he's got a lot of Orion toys, but I studied Greek theatre at university, so I looked at the plays of Orion, the Mighty Hunter from 3,000 years ago. My wife really enjoys natural science, so she liked the idea of Orion's belt and Orion's nebula. So it's a pastiche. The Transformer part is a big part of the reference, but it's not the only reason he's named Orion.
Cool. That is very cool.
Now, you were talking about when your friends bring their kids over to look at this. Okay, I have the same issue here. Here's a little thing that I do. I have a whole shelf right over here behind me, and I went and grabbed a couple of them. Now, here in the States, I can pick these up at Walgreens for about $7 a piece.
Oh, yep, the authentics.
yeah.
Okay, I keep a shelf of them over there. And when my friends bring their kids over, they get a free Transformer. Here you go. This is yours.
Oh.
But you've got to hold it just like this while you walk through here. And see, their hands are holding the Transformer that they get to take home. Their hands are not reaching. And if you see a hand come off, go, oh, if a hand comes off, you don't get to keep that. And then they hold it to them,
cool.
their chest, and then they get to look around at all the lights and everything that's going off and everything, but they're not touching anything because they're clutching this right here.
I've actually had a couple of people bring their sons as birthday surprises for their sons. So like they go, it's your birthday, we're going to go do something special, and don't tell them where they're coming, and then bring them out here. And usually what I'll do is I'll get a transformer in advance. I'll work something out with the parent, wrap it, and then have it waiting on the table. So they get this surprise tour for their birthday, and then they get a transformer to take home. But I will say I've yet to have a child be disrespectful in this shed. And I think it's just because it's so big and it's so massive, it's a bit of a sensory overload. If you put 5 or 6 toys in front of the kid's going to want to play with one of the toys. When there's 5,000, they're sort of just, looking about the place. So, when I say, I'll remove one of your limbs, people are always really nice and really respectful. I don't think I've ever had to pull up someone and say, don't touch that. And even little kids, they're really good with it. But I do have a box of a friend used to send me old knockoffs, like those Transformax or something. So I've taken all of those and I've put them in a box, and if kids want to have a play, I'll pull those out and then they can fiddle with all that stuff.
Cool. Now, out of your collection, I know you said the Power Master Optimus Prime, which is also my favorite when I got him as a kid, and you mentioned Omega, because a question we like asking everyone is, say if there was a situation and you had to run in to save one Transformer, which one would it be?
Oh, that's very difficult. We had, I actually had to evacuate this shed 5 years ago because of the bushfires that devastated Australia.
Oh,
thankfully, I did not have them up on the shelves at that point. I only had filled up 1 or 2 shelves because we just built the shed, and I had a friend drive a couple of 100 kilometers, come and meet me, and we spent a full day packing up everything Transformer related and shifting it to another friend's house who was not in danger from the fires. So in that case, I rescued everybody and everything. And thankfully the fires got close. They got within about 500 meters of our property, but never hit. If I had to choose one, you're killing me here.
That's the point of the question.
That's it. Well, Unicron. So the 2 Unicrons would be up there. It might even be Power Master Prime. I think I would just run up to my G1 shelves and just grab an armful and just run like there was no tomorrow. Maybe Gen 1 Dirge was my first ever Transformer toy, so he's got a lot of sentimental value, so I might grab him. I don't know. I love them all. I don't play favorites with my children. I'm not that kind of cyber parent. No, I love them all equally. Nice. Except for some of those movieverse one-step changes. They can bugger off. They can burn in the fire. So
they can be the sacrifice.
Yep, those are the sacrifices.
That's it. So
so those one-step changers have changed in quality since the original Beast Wars. The first wave of those one-step changers with like Rat Trap and Iguanus in them and the original Beast Wars toy line were actually pretty good. That's their mechanics and whatnot, but modern ones are horrible.
I will only purchase them if there is no other figure of that character.
Yep.
So from Transformers 1, I've got the one-step changer Wheeljack. From Earthspark, I got imported from Japan the one-step changer Swindle. I will only go down that path if there is not a better toy. Of course, then sometimes you get suckered in because they release the one-step changes, and then a couple of years later they will do better figure. So, for instance, I got One Step Changer Soundwave from Earthspark, and they've just announced that this year they're going to do a deluxe toy of him.
Cool.
Spin, you want to catch us up on the comments there? It
Yes.
looks like it's moving.
Well, actually, it's one of them is from the other Sedenbach because he's
My legal middle name is Thomas, which means twins. So,
which mentioned since you mentioned Earthspark, any bots characters you especially enjoyed from that branch of Transformers, I'm partial to Thrash and Jawbreaker.
I'd say for the aesthetic, let's go over to the Earthspark grotto.
oh God.
So I don't actually have that many Earthspark.
More than I
just
do.
picked up. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well, I
hadn't
think I
even
just
seen
picked up-
that truck guy in the wild. I got Nightshade. Yeah, I hadn't even seen one of those over here in the States. I've seen pictures of it online on Facebook groups, but that's it.
So he's not that brilliant in robot mode, but his vehicle mode is beautiful, and I'd have to say he's my favorite. The character is your quintessential bully, really, isn't he? My son and I are both Weird Al Yankovic fans. We went and saw him live last year when he was in Australia. Nice. So Cosmos from Earthspark is a bit of a favourite of ours, just because it's voiced by Weird Al.
Is that after the first 18 episodes? I only seen the first 18.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is in later seasons. I don't want to give too much away, but yes. Cosmos shows up and he is voiced by Weird Al. Yeah, so and I did like, and of course Swindle is always a favourite, so I quite enjoy Swindle from that cartoon as well.
Yeah, he was good in that. I agree.
Swindle's good in everything. For me, the quintessential.
He pops up.
That's right. I think the animated Swindle from Transformers Animated for me was just the quintessential version of him. He was just
a glorious
done.
Bastard, pretty much.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. So the 2 episodes he showed up in of animated would be 2 of my favorites. And yeah, so I thought he was very, unfortunately, I can't remember the name of the voice actor, but I know he passed away in the last couple of years. So we won't get to see that rendition of Swindle again, but I thought that Swindle was done very well.
Cool. One of our other members he's also not feeling well, so he wasn't able to join us this evening. He was asking, is Mr. O, who's not able to join us. His question is, what's your most unique Transformer figure that you have?
Unique. Okay. So, because most of what I buy is mainline. I did find. So this is not hubcap. This is the yellow wind charger. So, so no one in the comments go, "That's hubcap." It's not hubcap. It's a yellow wind charger. I found that for 50 cents at a local op shop here in the middle of nowhere. So that was kind of cool. That was kind of amazing. I had a friend who had a friend working on the first live action movie, and he snagged this for me. And I don't know if, can you read that at all?
Just
No
sacrifice.
Yeah, so that is Transformers Visual Lights and Magic Visual Effects Crew 2007. So that is actually a T-shirt belonging to one of the crew members. These weren't sold in shops. These were just given to the crew, and that crew member didn't want his shirt, so he gave it to his friend, who then gave it to me, which was very kind. So I'd say you're not going to see many of those around, which is cool. So, yeah, I don't know, but it's, yeah, toy-wise, I'm just trying to think what else in here. Don't know. It's so much of what I've got is mainline that I probably got very few Transformers that are particularly rare. I just have a lot of it. But when you get to the point where you've got everything to the point where you've got a Transformer spoon.
Swindle.
Spoon! The tick would approve.
There we go.
I love the Tick. The Tick is my favorite superhero character ever. So, who said spoon? Well done, sir. Excellent. Just remember, evil comes in
over here.
Was on Boys here. So just remember, evil comes in many forms, be it a man-eating cow or Joseph Stalin.
So Swindle's hiding out in the comments. Welcome, Swindle. I think he's probably here trying to make some sort of deals. That will be after the stream. I guess a question, because Fear had a question in terms of, do you have any grails that you're still searching for? And a question I was thinking tied in with something else. Do you have Quick Switch? Because that's a character that almost everyone just tends to avoid.
Quick Switch. Okay. So to answer that question, can you see him there?
Oh.
If I'm holding that on the right angle. So yes, I've got
spin, so we could see what he was just showing us. I'm like, who?
Oh. There we go.
Quick Switch.
So that was the 6-changer Autobot.
Ah, okay. I know what you're talking about now.
So yeah, I've got Quick Switch, and I think up here I've got the other version of him as well. So now sorry, what was the first part of that question?
Are there any grails that you don't have that you're still searching for?
Definitely. And unfortunately, these days, it's not so much a matter of if you can find them or not. It's whether you're willing to shell out the money to get them. So I think you could pretty much name any Transformers toy line and there'd be some figure from it that I'd love to have that I don't. So from Transformers Prime, I'd love to get the Bludgeon. From Transformers Cybertron, I'd love to get Nemesis Breaker, because I started collecting different Nemesis figures, and he's one I don't have. From Gen 1, Overlord, definitely. Probably a lot of the stuff from Japan, Overlord. Who's that City Former? He's pretty much a box. Can't remember.
I know who you're talking about visually. I can see him in my head, but I cannot remember.
Yeah. It'll be after the stream. One of us will go, oh, that guy. Yeah.
I mean, he has like stubs for arms. I don't even know if he has legs, and that's just part of the box that his head's attached to. And it's literally transformation is just lay him on his stomach.
That's right. That's exactly it. So yeah, look, there is quite a few from animated Ratbat. So I'd like that little, that Ratbat that turned into a keytar.
Ratbat.
So there's quite a lot. They did the evil version of Drift, before he became an Autobot. That was a Japanese toy. I thought that was very cool. Yeah, look, honestly, if I was to win the lottery, I could sit down this afternoon and spend God knows how many thousands of dollars. But certainly, some of those ones I just mentioned would be grails for me. So Overlord, Animated Ratbat, Cybertron, Nemesis Breaker, Prime, Bludgeon. There's quite a few.
Oh, yeah, that's my Japanese Ratbat.
I've got him. He's cool.
Bat fan mode with the Siege Bat. And using some blast effects on him. That's one of my pinned posts on my account. Just happened to see him one day, and I was like, ooh. I've always thought that mode looked cool, but I didn't care for it as Scourge. I was like, well, I'm buying that.
So there's a few rats there.
Yeah, I think I
Um,
saw the legacy one.
yeah, so I think I've got on a lot of my shelves. So they've got Legacy Ratbat in his robot mode, and then I've got the Ratbat that you just showed in his vehicle mode. And if you look at a lot of the way I've got the figures set up,
Yeah.
there's so you've got, and they're all different toys to each other. So for instance, this Chromia and this Chromia are completely different toys. So I have one of the character in robot mode and one in vehicle mode. And whenever I have multiple of the same character, that's what I tend to go for. I do not know if I'm holding this at the right angle because I'm behind.
Oh, that's
Looks
perfect.
fine to me.
Yeah, that's why when you weren't sure if you were showing Power Master Optimus off or not. That's why I made a point to say you had him in the middle. Where is my triple tri? My Alpha Trion.
Cool. Sheila Kobe, one of our long friends who's always in the comments, said back from Mega Costco run, awaiting February arrival of Studio Series Galvatron as opposed to Kingdom, and also says I got Zuru Mini Brand's blind bag last week, and it had a super duper miniature Transformers Cyberverse Optimus Prime plus Gray Jet, so tiny. And Swindle is also asking, are you missing any Transformers Primes figures besides Bludgeon?
I never got the Japanese releases of Breakdown and Swerve. So I missed out on those two. So they were quite big. I think they were Voyager class. So Breakdown and Swerve I missed out on. In fact, the only versions of Breakdown from Prime that I have are the Legacy one and a McDonald's Happy Meal one.
Cool. And another question someone has, our friend Mr. O has, that since Australia is near Japan, does Australia have lots of Transformers stocked in stores, and do you have a lot of a variety?
We're not near Japan. We're not near Japan. Japan is like, and I have looked it up before because I wanted to go. We were considering going to Japan instead of Cook Islands. The Cook Islands proved to be a lot cheaper. Japan's a 12-hour flight from here. So, and no, not really. Australia is not a great country to pick up Transformers in store. And we miss out on quite a lot, which is why the internet and these internet stores are such a godsend.
Plus, I think people forget how big Japan actually is, because if you look, like, you take a picture and it's like as tall as Europe, if not taller, more or less like at least half or 2/3 of the East Coast tall. But when you're looking at on your standard world map, it makes it look a lot smaller than it really is.
So I had a friend visit Japan last year, and I was extremely envious of some of the stores that he went into. So I think he got me a Jimbu, a yellow transformer from Transformers Go that could combine with other ones. But he was going into stores and sending me photos and videos, and he was going into stores where there was just walls of Gen 1 still in the box, walls of Prime still in the box. Name it, it's there. So it's certainly a dream destination for my son and my daughter as well, because she loves Hello Kitty and all that kind of cutesy stuff, and we all quite like anime and everything. So yeah, Japan is certainly a holiday destination for one day down the track.
Cool. And where did the name where did you come up with the name for your collection? And let everyone know what the
Oh,
name is.
the Transformatorium.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? It was just I had my Facebook page. Yeah, again, we're going 12 years ago now, and I realized that I was just sort of spamming my own page with link after link after link to Transformer stuff and everything else. And these days I get followed by a lot of people in the Transformer world, but back then I didn't really. It was just friends and family, and they didn't want to see that stuff. So I started off my own Facebook group called the Transformatorium, and I don't know how that popped into my head, and it kind of grew from there. So when we had the collector's shed built, I just named it the Transformatorium, and on my website I've got the Transformatorium section, and then that's everything Transformers, whether I'm doing reviews or videos or photos of my collection or discussions or whatever, it all goes under that. So I think there's a few, if you Google Transformatorium, most of the stuff comes up mine, and then they'll come up with some Celtic art or something else. I think a couple of other people have used the term over the years as well.
Well,
Are you the BigAngryTrev.com join the Trevolution?
That's me.
I just became a Trevolutionary.
Excellent.
Now you have to keep an eye
That's
on
it.
Magnus, because I'm going to throw a question to you. How many Unicron figures do you have?
Me?
No, Trevor. How many Unicron figures do you have?
Rightio. Okay. So we've got the big fella there, and then we've got the big fella up there as well, if you could see on the top shelf. And I'll explain in a sec why I was able to purchase two. So we've got the Pop. We've got the Prime one from Japan there. Animator, Armada up there. A bunch of smaller figures. Who else have I got? Where is he? Oh yeah, there's a couple from Energon there. So I don't know, maybe over a dozen. So, but it's in the big HasLab.
He's got a bigger gravity well.
Yeah, I asked that because
I've got.
Sorry, I asked that because Mr. Magnus has. Let me get to his screen. He has a handful of Unicrons, so we always have this ongoing joke that if any figures go missing from your collection, it's because the gravity pull of the Unicrons sucked them into his house. But apparently, I think some of his Transformers are going to get sucked over into your place now.
Quite possibly. Very strangely, Australia got pretty much the best deal on HasLab Unicron. So whereas I know in the States and so on, you had to order it from Hasbro Pulse and you had to pay up front, and then you had postage costs and everything else. Here in Australia, and unfortunately they're not as gregarious as they used to be. There's a company called EB Games, who also, it's mainly video games, but they have stuff like that too. And they were letting people order HasLab Unicron. You could order, and we had 18 months to pay him off, and you could pick him up in store. And they pretty much charged exactly what HasLab was charging. They weren't for some reason, they weren't marking it up. So that's why, because I had 18 months to pay it off and no postage costs, that's why I was able to get two. I was a bit sneaky because I never told my wife I was getting two. However, whenever I talked about it, I used the plural term. I said Unicrons. So there was a "s" on the end. So I said, yeah, I'm going to go pay some off my Unicrons. My son knew. My wife, not so much. But I was able to pull it out and go, but I said Unicrons. I always use plural. I never said it in the singular. She's very, very tolerant of me. She really, really is. So,
Well, trust me, I've got one of those. I've got one of those too. Yeah,
yeah,
this shelf behind me that the Unicrons are sitting on. This is my overflow shelf. Other than the other side where all my studio series is, everything on this side that you can see, those are extras. Because
right.
she will never know. She will never know. She doesn't watch the show because she's in bed by now. She gets up at 2:00 in the morning for work. So when she brings me something, it's, oh baby, this is the one I've been looking for. This is the one I've been searching. Every time I go into town, this is the one I've been needing. Thank you. Thank you. And then I put it on the shelf with the other 7 that she already bought me. But she has no idea. She has no idea. But yeah, whenever she sees something, she's like, "Oh, that's the one he was looking for," and she buys it. And then when she brings it, she's like, "I picked this up for you. This is the one you were looking for." Oh, where did you find that? That's the reaction I give her. But yes, she is extremely tolerant. She's found me a few gems. She found me my collector's case over here, the old like Hot Wheels collector case that you could put 5 or 6 bots in and everything from the 80s. Yeah, she found me one of those once and brought it in. And then when I took it out when I was cleaning it because it was kind of dirty and I took it out, the person who owned it before and the store that she bought it at never took the inner tray out of it. It was loaded underneath with a pile of tech specs. I bet there were 25 tech specs scattered out through there, a couple of missiles, a couple of guns like that had just fallen down the sides of it and gotten under there. But they had stored all their tech specs in there, and the store owner had no idea that they were. So that's what the little binder is over there on the table.
Nice, very nice.
I have one that is very tolerant to go so far as to say that we're getting married in September and our wedding is Transformers themed.
Oh, congratulations, sir.
Thank you, sir.
So the most we had at our wedding was I wrote a speech for one of my groomsmen to read, and it was a poem, and it was laced with Transformers references. So, if along life's path you bumble, be not afraid. And the stars scream their joy for you, and all that kind of thing. Let nothing devastate or menace or ravage your love, that kind of thing. And you just heard all the relatives were going, "Oh, isn't that nice?" And you heard a big contingent of my mates at the back of the chapel go, "Oh."
I'm stealing some of that. I'm stealing some of that right now.
Well, one of our
the penny drop.
One of our other friends, Professor D, is in the comments. So he had 2 questions, but actually, with all these jokes that we're saying right now, I'm going to go to this question. He said, "Trev, you mentioned you did stand up. No way we're letting you off the stream without at least 2 minutes of your old routine. Bonus marks if you got some Transformers jokes."
Oh, no. I am not subject. Do you want your followers count to drop by 50% over the next 5 minutes? No. You don't want that. It has been many years since I did stand-up comedy. And I was okay, but I was never great, and I never put the required effort into it that it needed. So I'll just riff if you don't mind. I don't. I'm trying to think. I think I had a bit about how they never had Australians on Star Trek because everyone would get drunk and throw beer bottles at Klingons. So I think I had a bit about how I didn't like taking my son to the carnival because I wasn't paying good money to watch him put balls in a clown's mouth. There was a few few bits, but yeah, here's a little tip to all your viewers at home. This is something that the young people could learn from. So when I was young, I wanted to be a famous stand-up comedian. That seemed like a lot of work. I wanted to be a famous actor, and I did a bit. I was in a couple of little movies, very small bits in movies and small bits on TV, and that didn't really work. If you want to get famous, don't bother with that. Just buy toys for 40 freaking years and put them in the shed. That's it. That's it. Much easier. Just buy a buttload of something. Doesn't matter if it's bottle caps, doesn't matter if it's dead hookers. Just collect a lot of something and
Don't get
someone
any
will take
ideas,
an interest
Adam.
in it. So that's Trev's tip of the day.
There you go. So going back to what we were speaking of earlier, Leanne in the comments says, "Love all that romance." And Professor D also asked, "Trev, looks like you're all about mainline, but do you have any third-party stuff? Why are you hating on Masterpiece?"
Why am I hating on Masterpiece?
I get that's what he said.
Hating on I take exception to that, sir. Let's go to the Masterpiece section.
Yeah, you didn't see it because it was in the wrong zip code.
The wrong grotto.
No, Sedum. We said no dead hookers.
Oh gosh.
So,
The premise
oh
does
yeah,
not
as you can
condone the killing
see,
of
I've got plenty of no, I've got
in
tons
Florida
of
or anywhere else.
Sorry, go ahead.
Third-party figures I don't have very many of, and most of them have been donated to me. I've got a good friend, Trent. Hello, Trent, if you're watching, who loves to make stuff with his 3D printer, and then he doesn't have the space to store it. He likes making it, and then he'll donate it to the Transformatorium. So as you can see, I've got whoops, sorry, I've clicked on something there. Can you see that? The big squid. So I've got squid, I've got a couple of little quintessons. But I used to only buy third party of characters that I never thought would get an official toy. So I've got a third party quintesson, a couple of third party quintessons, that kind of thing. But now, I mean, Hasbro and Takara are making toys of pretty much even the most random, obscure characters. So like Emirate Zaron, who what's his name? The guy that turned into the wheel in the Scrounge, the little guy that turned into a wheel in the Marvel comics. He's got an official toy. So I figure these days, I'll just wait. Hasbro will make it eventually.
Cool. Professor D also says, "Excellent. Now that I've seen the Masterpiece section, I've become a true Trevolutionary. Oh, love the movie Squid." So it is 10:15 our time, so I know we're going to wrap up within the next 10-15 minutes, so we're not running too long. From within our interaction before the stream tonight, you did mention that there is one other person in Australia who also has a large collection. And I will tie this in because last year we had an interview with a man named AJ who's in America, and he is at the time he did have the largest collection in the Guinness Book of Records, but I think now he's got the second largest collection. I would say, or I'm gonna ask, at your guys' level of collections, do you guys talk to each other, trade each other, or or like if you and him kind of run into a toy show, do you guys just give each other dirty looks like my collection's bigger than yours type thing? Like,
no, look, it's a person named Griffin. He's a very nice gentleman. He lives up in Queensland, and whereas I've got a bit over 5,000, I think he's got over 1,100. 11,000. He just buys apps, whereas I have to be a little bit choosy. My funds are finite. I think his funds are finite too, but he's more scrupulous. I think he would have over double what I'd have. He did go for the Guinness Book of World Records a few years ago.
okay.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of hoops you have to jump through to get in, and one of them is that you have to have it all displayed in a public place where it can be toured and the judges can come through and everything else. And it probably costs you a few $1,000s to go through the process to apply for the Guinness Book of World Records. So he ended up not going through the whole process because he couldn't do that, because he rents a 2-bedroom unit, and having 11,000 figures, he's just hemmed in like that. He just walks around his place like that because it's just crates and so on. Whereas
Yikes.
I'm got the space where I was able to build this shed out on my farm, and it's separate from the main farmhouse and everything else. He actually actively encouraged me to go for the world record several years ago. And I think that's what started me with my photo cataloging, which now I'm just continuing with for insurance purposes. But no, he's quite nice. Hasbro Australia has done a lot of events over the last few years around the movies. So, and he is very well known to Hasbro Australia, and I've become very well known to Hasbro Australia. In fact, the other week they just sent me this. I don't know if you can see that in the light, but it's a Bumblebee Transformer one figure, but it's signed. So by Key and Alan. So yeah, if you can see, there's the signature there. And yeah,
Nice.
Hasbro Australia sent that to me. Go, good on you, Trev. You're doing the work for us, mate. So they they had with Rise of the Beasts, they had a special thing at the zoo in Sydney, and they had the gigantic the 4-story tall Transformer, 2-story tall Transformer statues, and they had stuff at night, and they had an event where they had minor celebrities staying overnight at the zoo and glamping and all this. And Griffin and I were invited to represent the fandom. So if any of these celebrities wanted to know, oh, okay, what's the deal with this? What's the deal with that? He and I could chat to them and everything else. And yeah, there's been quite a lot of events like that. We've had preview screenings and art shows and so on. So he and I both get invited to a lot of these events. So no, he's a lovely guy. I will say there's not a lot of aggro in the Australian Transformers world, and maybe that's because we're a fairly laid back country and we're a smaller community. So if you act like a complete bastard, everyone's going to hear about it fairly quickly. So, but yeah, no, he's a nice guy, but I'd definitely be number 2. For all I know, I'm number 3, and that person just keeps their collection to themselves and doesn't tell people about it. But yeah, his collection would certainly be over mine, but mine's prettier. Mine is a delight to look at. It's lovely. So I win there.
Well,
I got a question for him. I got one question real quick. The stuff that you had on your ceiling, is that artwork? And if it's not, do you own any artwork?
No, not really. I've got, so there was a Transformers art show last year, and it was called the More Than Meets the Eye exhibition, and I did get some T-shirts that have that artwork on it, but I don't think they're here in the shed. Let me have a not that I could see. So no, not a lot of artwork. Again, those are all you can't really see well because of light, but yeah, the ceiling's covered. But I've got that many posters now that I've run out of room on the ceiling as well. There's a bag. Let's see. That's the bag some artwork came in. That's about the best I can do you.
Cool. Now, I around here, there's a lot of artists. I'm a big supporter of them.
So, I don't know how many people in Australia are doing Transformers art. There is a crafter named Ember. Oh, I see those. Those are very nice.
And those are painted on metal, and they come with a magnet that you just stick to the wall, and then you just anywhere you want to.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Yeah, he's a local guy. I can't remember his name, and then I've got a few other pieces. This was the recent one that I just picked up.
Very cool.
And these are all either hand painted or markered. None of them are prints. Yeah, it's I like the art. I like all of it. Like you, I don't have a favorite child. I don't really have a favorite thing here. It's just the whole community. To be honest, I love everybody's collections. Yeah, that's wicked. See, I bought this house, which is a house that I built 25 years ago for this room.
Oh, okay.
So that I could put my collections in this room. There you go. Yep.
Very cool. We do have. I'm friends with a customizer who makes little stuff called Mbot. So Michael down in Melbourne, and yeah, I don't know if you can zoom in on that, but that might be the world's tiniest reflector. So he's made little ones like that. And where is my little sound wave? Oh, here we go.
Yep. World's smallest sound wave. I've got one.
Nice.
And the rabbit, does he have a rabbit in his chest?
No, this isn't the world's smallest sound wave. This is one that my friend made himself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, no, I think the world's smallest ones, I think I've got Rust and let's see who we got. Oh, yeah, little side swipe. I don't actually have that many of them. And I've got a Grimlock somewhere as well.
There's another line of those that gets even smaller.
I've got a friend, Dallas, who lives in Sydney, who collects a lot of really tiny. Oh, that's cool. Oh, he's so cute. My friend Dallas collects lots of really tiny ones.
And they look really great next to Crypticon.
Oh, yeah. See, I've got lots of small figures, but they're all, like your robot heroes, Ushies. There's someone from Japan. But, of course, none of these actually transform. Whereas yours do, which makes them extra cool.
All right, mates. Well, we're crawling up on 9:30. 4 a.m. comes around real quick. So I'm tuning out. Sir, it was I really enjoyed looking at your collection. That's a fabulous thing you've got set up there. So, gentlemen, Tilallareone, I'm out. I'll see you next week.
Next week, Mitch.
Very nice to meet you.
Cool. Yeah, and as we're slowly going to round up for the evening, it was an honor to have you on the stream and let everyone know where they can find you, and also, looking you up, let them also know other things that you do as well, aside from just Transformers.
Okay, so I've got my OnlyFans account, so if people want to...
This guy's going to fit in.
If people would like to shell out, it's cheap, $79.95 a month. You can,
what's that? Put your clothes back on?
I'm willing to paint these with jam, with Vegemite, whatever floats your boat. So make sure you subscribe there. So I've got my website, so www.predacons, bigangrytrev.com, where you could find it's mainly Transformer stuff, but there's other stuff I've done as well. There's the Big Angry Trev YouTube channel. I do a lot of hot sauce challenges and things like that, again, as well as Transformer stuff. There's the Big Angry Trev's Transformatorium Facebook group, where I post pictures of the shed and share Transformer stuff I'm interested in and different links. There's Big Angry Trev on TikTok, Big Angry Trev 77 on Instagram, Big Angry Trev on X, formerly known as Twitter. It's mainly all Transformer stuff. I still occasionally do a little bit of comedic stuff as well, and I do hot sauce challenges, and sometimes I make videos with my kids. And I'm one of those people who's cursed to be a bit interested in everything. So I'll go out and do gardening and brew my own beer and make my own beef jerky and do this and that and everything else. So if you put Big Angry Trev into a Google search, you're gonna get a lot of me, which is that's just wonderful for everyone, really.
Cool. So I mean, a huge thank you for joining our stream, and and for everyone watching, like and subscribe to our channel, to the Big Angry Trev's channel. We also have our new video segments that we have coming out on Wednesdays, courtesy of Toy Warp and Fear of Courage, who unfortunately wasn't here this evening because a lot of our members who usually join us as well, everyone was just caught some sort of cold, but a lot of them were hanging out in the comments, so I thank them for being in the comments. But I mean, again, thank you, Trevor, for hanging out with us this evening. It was an honor.
No, that's all right. I've really, I don't usually do group video chat kind of things, but I've really enjoyed it. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share my passion and my collection with you guys on the other side of the planet. And it's been a pleasure to meet you all. I've had a lot of fun, and to all my followers, follow Children of Primus. I was quite pleased to find I found you guys absolutely everywhere once I started looking. So if we swap everyone should follow both plots.
Exactly.
And me.
And
There you
also
go.
we're Vintage Reviews on YouTube. He also does, he mostly focuses on vintage toys, and also Cruisers Motorsport, which is the shirt that he's wearing, and Set 'em Bach Arts in the bottom left corner. Check him out on Instagram, and Boobs and Bots as well. See, this is our Teletran 2 segment, so we can
because of me
saying stuff. Yes. As we
Hang on, did you say boobs and bots?
Yes, that's literally
boobs and
my
bots.
Instagram
Yes.
handle.
Now
Right,
we're gonna,
hang on.
Now we're going to change it to dead hookers.
Before we go, one thing.
Oh gosh.
Here we go.
Yeah, weather permitting, I'll be doing the highlight detailing on this. So that's before the highlights, and that's the first 2 steps.
Wait, a ladder has shown up.
Yeah.
Oh god. Oh
What
god.
happens when a ladder shows up?
This Sunday, it's the ladder beatdown. Cage match. We'll sell you the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Boobs and bots. Do you have these?
Oh,
I am not that out there. I basically Spin and Toy Warp are on my regular Facebook, and I took that name as a reference to the type of stuff I share a lot on my personal Facebook, which is a lot of mecha, like Transformers, Evangelion, Gundam, Bots, and then anime girls and female cosplayers.
Oh,
the
right.
other word.
Why? No, you know what? I don't know if I want to know the answer to that.
Because I'm not a Republican and I got a sense of humor about stuff. And I'm not woke either.
well,
No, I was saying what he got down. When Trevor
Oh.
got down, I was asking why, and I was like, wait a minute, I don't know if I want to know or not
Hey,
now.
I will say this. I know someone who has had a certain type of light
They were all
made out from them.
And
right.
we're
Typical
definitely getting canceled
of
now.
all the times my son had to walk into the shed. These things have sat there untouched for years, and now my son has just walked into the shed.
You know,
Ori,
Dad, what's wrong
these were
with
given
you?
to me by friends. No, I did not. I did
blame
not.
blame
You
it
wanna
on the
say hello
Children
to
of
the world?
Primus. Blame it on the Children of Primus, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
Of all, seriously, those things.
There's a reason it was on the top shelf.
Yeah, because they're very covered in dust. You know, they've been.
You sure
It's like the
dust?
secret.
And not something else?
No. They're still mint in the plastic. They have not been manhandled.
Okay, you responded to that well.
There we go. So on that note, as we say to all our viewers at the end of a stream, to all are one.
To Holler one.
No,